Hey, Jaxson, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Were you expecting Coach to be as aggressive in the portal with quarterbacks as he was, and what was your reaction kind of when you learned that Walker and Spencer would be joining the team?
Well, obviously, I knew that we needed quarterbacks. I was the only scholarship quarterback on staff, so usually you would like to have 3 or 4. I just think how things just shook out just ended up being those 2, but I was fully aware that we had to have some depth, so I was aware that we were going to take 2.
Lance says you've improved a lot. Where do you think you have improved the most?
I just think like my confidence in the system. I've talked to Coach Kiffin about this a lot, as well as Coach Weiss, and you kind of look at how Matt was from year 1 to year 2, and just like his comfortability in the system and how he was able to just operate things. And for me, that's kind of what I'm striving for. I'm striving for to have like a big year like he did, and so I think just my knowledge of the game, kind of just being accustomed to this area. This will be year 2 for me, so just living here and really finding like my group and my crowd. So I'm just really comfortable with where I'm at. So I think a lot of that has played a tribute to my performance.
Jaxson already have one off season and one quarterback battle kind of already underneath your belt. What did you kind of learn from that whole experience last year, just going into this off season, having the guys that they brought in behind you?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in a quarterback competition like every year of my college career, and this year's a little different than last year. But I think that how my experience was last year with competing with Luke, it really pushed me and it propelled me to this year.
In your opinion, do you view this as a quarterback competition? Is that how you're looking at it going into the spring?
To be honest, I just see myself as the starter. I had year 1 and I kind of established myself. Have year 2 and kind of just getting more bonds with the guys on the team, being a leader. So I feel like I've taken ownership of that, and I'm just ready to do my job, and I'm loving where I'm at right now. So I just expect myself to have a great spring and keep performing the way that I'm performing, and excited to help this team win.
Just to the taking that next step and improving, when you look back, what do you kind of take from or learn with kind of how the last month of that season and then the bowl game just kind of went? What's something you can take from that?
Yeah, I think that how we ended was disappointing. We started off so strong. I think honestly we got a little comfortable, and I think that we just kind of let our foot off the gas a little bit, and I think that was a big eye opening for myself and the guys on the team that. You play in the SEC and you play the best competition week in and week out. There's never a time where you can take the foot off the gas. Every team has just as much talent or more talent than you, and every team has great coaches. So, I just didn't think that we executed the way that we should have. I know that all the guys on the team, including myself, were disappointed. And, we really want to make a big leap. We feel like we have like the core of our team, a lot of it coming back this next year. And we just, we can't get back out and start this year off the right way and finish it the right way.
And kind of going off of that, Jared Ivey was in here last week talking about, basically asked the same question, saying that, we put that behind us because that's behind us, but at the same time, do you use that as, motivation? Where are you kind of on that spectrum as far as, leaving all that happened in the past with the way last year ended versus kind of using that to fuel this year? Yeah,
obviously there's things that you can just learn from the experiences of us not finishing the way that we should have. But I would agree with Jared. You just got to put that past us. A lot of us are going to have a really big opportunity for us to have a really good year. And personally, each individual or a lot of guys on our team are going to have opportunities to make big names for themselves. And I think it really helps with our coaching staff on the offensive side coming back. And then we got Coach Golding on the defensive side. I think all those are going to leap our performance. And, we got a lot of good guys. So, we learn from it, but, we put it behind us and we're ready to roll.
Jaxson, how would you describe your relationship at this point with Walker and Spencer, and is it different in any way?
Yeah, they're both great guys, great competitors, and they love the game of football. I think that, for me, I'm still only 19 years old. So like a guy like Spencer, he's been a huge earpiece for me of just being able to learn from his experiences, and he's played a lot of ball. And then Walker's, the younger one of us. So, kind of just teaching them like everything that we've experienced, and they're each super talented. So it's fun to get out there and compete.
You talked about some returning pieces, and Jalen Knox is one of those players. He's actually been here for a little bit longer than you. How would you see? How have you seen his game grown from last offseason to now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just his health. Last year he was coming off of an injury, so he wasn't all the way there with his body. So he got to have a huge this offseason to really get himself back in shape. Get his little individual work with his wide receiver techniques and stuff like that. So he's looked really good. But I think the biggest thing for him is just health, and then him just feeling confident in himself.
It looks like you've got a fantastic tight end in Caden Freese going.
Yeah.
Just what have been your observations, experiences with him thus far?
Yeah, he was a massive get for us. I think that he's going to help tremendously in the run game and the pass game. I think it's going to be super exciting when we're going to be able to play a lot in 12 personnel sets with him and Trig, and kind of use Trig the way that he's more natural to. And but he was a tremendous pickup for us. He's a really hard worker, and he was one of the top tight ends in the country last year. So I know that for him, he wants to make this, be his year. And I think that, I could agree. I think everybody else on staff could agree that he was a huge addition for our team.
I know it's 4 practices, a handful of them, but just what's your impressions of the Pete Golding defense and what you're seeing coming at you as, I guess, from last year with a whole different staff?
Yeah, playing against Alabama, it was really tough. So, he's still introducing everything to the guys. He's very, very detailed in every little thing. So I know that the guys, when we have like our mills or things like that, they'll talk about how, they got a lot of install today, and how they're just learning a lot from him. So I think that they're going to make some big jumps getting into the fall. I think that this spring will be a good learning experience for them of just getting the defense down. And there's always a learning curve when you have a new coach. So, he's going to be great for us. And I think that, our defense, we got a lot of good pieces. And I think that with him coming in his scheme and, how he is as a coach is going to be huge.
Have you talked to him about that face mask back a few months ago?
Yeah, he said my bad.
And last one from me. Saturday was first day of fulls for you guys, and towards the end got a little physical. And can you just talk about the defensive backs and what kind of transpired towards the end there?
I just think that we're just competitive. We all love each other. It's funny because you kind of saw it between Aisheem and Braylon, and you see them off the field, and they're always together. They're always like super close. So we just got a lot of competitive guys on the team, and a lot of times they'll be joking around or things like that. And then sometimes, each rep, they kind of have bragging rights over each other for the next however many days until the next rep. So they're just competitive, and every time the pads get brought out, I think there's a different kind of energy that comes with it.
Questions?
Thank you, guys.